Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the channel. I am super excited to be here this weekend in the Mono County, Mammoth Lakes area, because this weekend is Fishmish. Yes, it's the 2022 Trout opener, and we're gonna fish beautiful Lake Crowley right behind me. Beautiful Lake Crowley on our Hobie Pro Anglers tomorrow. So come with us, guys. We're gonna teach you all the tips and tricks. Hopefully we get them good tomorrow. So come join us. Are you ready? In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Start off with some lead core. We're going to be trolling about 3 colors this morning, starting off, and then we're going to be just trolling a CD5, Rapala CD5, so 2-rod trolling. It's not actually the ideal thing for a beginner, but a Abu Garcia winch, and then CD5. And so that's my first setup this morning, and then my second setup is the 5500 C3 from Abu Garcia, and we're doing a Thomas Boyne on lead core line. We have a couple nice sized fish. 2.5 miles an hour, 1.5 to 2.5 trolling speed. We started off with 3 colors of lead core, and I moved up to 2.5. It looks like on my fish finder, the fish are suspended a little higher. So it's important that you have a fish finder when you're trolling, for the GPS reasons. So have a combo unit, GPS fish finder combo unit in color. I always tell people in my seminars, if you attended my seminar, color is huge for this kind of stuff, so you can meter that hard bottom. You don't want to get in any type of structure when you're trolling. Remember that lead core, it sinks pretty much 5 feet per color. So for me, if I'm out 3 colors, I'm 15 feet plus my leader line of 30 feet of fluorocarbon 6-pound. I'm playing with that bottom, and I'm not a real big fan of playing with the bottom because then you start to get stuck and stuff. The difficult part about this morning is they're biting the Thomas Boyne, the 1/4 ounce. And everything up here in the Sierras is gold. It's like, they like gold and chrome. They like gold and chrome. So throwing 2 lead cores is difficult because you have to have line management. And if you're not an experienced kayaker, I wouldn't really tell you to do that, because I've had people do it and flip because they're trying to work multiple rods. You do have to have a 2-rod stamp though to fish in California waters. You got to pay the extra fee for the 2-rod stamp. 2 troll, 2 rods, because you're fishing 2 rods, right? We're trolling, man, we're getting them. We'll be back, guys. See you in a little bit. good one. Oh, it's a cutty. It's a cutty. It's a cutty. It's a cutty. It's a good one too. Don't want to horse these fish in too much. Oh yeah. A beautiful fish. Beautiful. Let's take a look at this color, guys. This cutthroat. Beautiful color. And that flicker shad. That's great, man. Look at that thing. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fish. It's almost a releasing fish. All right, guys. We'll keep at it. We're getting them. It's a little bit slower. You know, the state's having trouble with the stocking, but a lot of those stocking fish we're not really after. We're after the holdover cutthroats, the German browns, the fish that have been here for a little bit. We're not really after that stalker rainbow. You'll get that stalker rainbow with like the flicker shad, the countdown rapalas, stuff like that. Even the rig behind me, I don't know if you can see it. Somewhere behind me. My cowbell rig, big long spoon, flashers. Those tend to attract the smaller fish. But we're just gonna troll all day. We're gonna kind of work Crowley Lake up and down. We're gonna work that 35, 30-foot area. And you can even go even deeper to the 65, but I'm just gonna stay in that 30 to 35 range. I noted too earlier, over the years I've been fishing, and Promar baby, they are one of my supporters and my sponsors. They have this rubberized mesh net. I actually took it off of one of my other Pro Series nets and put this rubberized net on. And I would really like to see in the future from them a Sierra net for trolling. Whenever you troll these Thomas Buoyants, you have that deep treble hook. And these fish tend to roll. They're like alligators, man, they roll. And so it's important, like, if you have a good net with rubberized, I've been out here with guys before where I've lost this cut nets out because those triple hooks, man, just get stuck. So a good rubberized mesh net, Promar can hook you up with that too. So yeah, so we're gonna keep at it. Hopefully. So I'm about done for today. Figure we got a few fish here, released a handful of fish. Just kind of want to show you folks back at home what we're dealing with here. So rods, when it comes to trolling, I like redfish rods, saltwater inshore redfish rods. And the reason why I like them so much is because redfishing has kind of changed the industry as far as they're almost like a largemouth bass, but they're a saltwater fish. So people like to use smaller profile rods and small profile reels, which works out for us for the trolling game because this here is made by Bass Pro Shop. It's an inshore rod, made by Extreme, so it's an Extreme inshore. And it's a 7 foot. But the line class on it is really light compared to what most people were to troll with back in the days, big saltwater setups, the big pin reels. And I'm just using an Ambassador 5500 C3 Abu Garcia, and I have 12-pound lead core line. And this is kind of the guy I've been, this 1/4 ounce here, Thomas Buoyant. That seems like the trick up here, showing these lakes. Anything gold, chrome, even on the flicker shad patterns, the X wraps, the CD3s. It seems like those are like the hot tickets. That gold with a little bit of red. You do have some success on a rainbow trout pattern. Fire tiger is always popular, or the pinks as well. But for me, anytime I'm struggling at a lake, and today we're on Lake Crowley. I'm on the kayak. I don't know if you guys can tell. I'm on the kayak. I'm just rocking around. Crowley could be a place where the bike could be full speed, or it can just kind of just die off. And it's very important to watch your meter. And those fish are going to be all over between 10 and 35 feet. I like to kind of go right in the middle at 25 feet or so. And that 30-pound or that 30 feet of fluorocarbon leader, I use Vanish, Berkeley Vanish myself. And it's important to get that out 2 to 3 colors. You're gonna kind of be playing with those colors all day. And a lot of guys struggle, and I think a lot of the reason why they struggle is because I'm a firm believer in the fluorocarbon, first of all, 6-pound and 30 feet. And I'm not talking assumptions, I'm actually talking measure 30 feet out. Now, if you want the Ambassador reel with the line counter on it, so this has a line counter, and you know exactly how many feet you're putting on for your leaders, I like to use that as a cheating system. But 30 feet is important. That's probably, I tell guys all the time, and they just kind of wind it out in their driveway, or when they get to the lake, they kind of make assumptions. And so I like 30 feet exactly, tied with the uni knot, uni to uni, and then I do everything on a San Diego jammer. All my knots, San Diego jammer, just keep it simple. I'm not gonna do trilene knots or whatever knots you have. San Diego jammer knot has gotten me out of a lot of binds. So that's kind of the setup that we're going with today, that we've been doing really well on. Like I said, these low profile rods, because this is a redfish rod. It's super, I mean, you can actually feel the fish fighting it, which is great. And that's why I love it so much for the kayak, because it's not just, you're just whining in a fish. Like a lot of times you use this heavy, bulky gear, and there's just no fun in it. You actually feel the finesse of this fish. You're actually fighting this fish with the rod. And that's the beautiful thing of these rods, these inshore rods, redfish rods. And they have the bigger eyes on them. And that's what I love. These eyes that are designed, they're designed for bigger line. And that lead core line can kind of go right through that line, no problem. On a kayak especially, it's hard to get lead core out on a kayak. So what I do is I pedal, because I'm in a Hobie kayak. And what I do is I point my rod towards the stern, and the line comes out of the reel a lot easier. If you're just doing this and trying to get your line out, you're gonna be hand feeding this thing, and all it's gonna do is frustrate you. And so you gotta have a system to get that line out, okay? And when you do multiple, it only gets more difficult. So make sure that when you're doing it, you get up to speed. You gotta get up to speed, at least 2.5 to 3 miles an hour. Point your rod tip towards the stern. Point that in the tip of the water if you have to, and the line will just start to feed out. And as you start to pedal, it'll go. And then you can feed it a little bit if you want. And that's pretty much what you do. And you can also show not just Thomas Buoyants, you can do CD3s, you can do countdown, any countdown, X-Wrap countdown. You can do needlefish is a good one. But I stay away from needlefish. It catches a lot of stalker fish. That's just me personally. Maybe some of you guys out there have caught trophy fish. But that's kind of what we're doing today. All right, guys, that's the tip. That's kind of what we're doing. We'll see you back in a little bit. guys, that about wraps up our weekend here at beautiful Lake Crowley. Lake Crowley is known for one thing, fish and wind. And the wind definitely picked up today and completely blew us off the water, but that's okay. We had a great weekend. We caught a lot of fish. We released a lot of fish. Things went our way. So we couldn't do this without our sponsors, of course, but we want to thank Bass Pro Shop, Ahi USA, Berkeley, Abu Garcia, Lead Masters, Bidon, Hobie Kayaks, Hobie Polarize, Pure Water Sports, in Oceanside and in Dana Point. If you guys have any kayak needs, come visit us. Please come visit us at Pure Water Sports in Dana Point. We're in the Ship Harbor, or go see Chris down in Oceanside. From beautiful Lake Crowley, we'll see you guys in the next one. When you're on a diet and you have to eat keto snacks, I hate to admit that, keto. You want to know how this tastes? It tastes like garbage.